everybody. Welcome to HotMakes right here on the edge of tech, where we aim to a whole bunch of sirens, sorry. Where we aim to educate and entertain the maker community. As soon as the stream started, a whole bunch of sirens and emergency vehicles just flew by the house. It totally threw me off.
They're coming for you.
How you doing?
I am great. How are you doing, man? I'm glad. Look at that smile on your face. You must be just sleeping. Baby's doing great. You guys are just easy.
Right.
Get it figured out.
Yeah, fake. I mean, yes. No, he's doing good. We had 1 month checkup, and he's doing great. He just hasn't slept all day because he's too tired to sleep or whatever happens, and then babies get into that cycle where they don't sleep and then they cry, and that's where he is right now. And he might show up. Lindsay might just bring him in because she's probably real close to needing to hand him over. But yeah, man, it's a learning experience. We'll say that. I think I just got a coronavirus from here.
I just transmitted through the internet to you. Dude, yeah, kids defy logic, man. That's just terrible. I'm sorry. It's like they get so sleepy that they can't even sleep. It doesn't make any sense. But mine do that too. They get hyper. They get overtired and then they get hyper.
I remember those days.
I'm like, I get tired and I want to sleep.
Right. It's pretty much me at like 1:30 in the morning when I have to get up at 5:45 for work. But yeah, man, it's been going great. We have an awesome show tonight. We have a guest that we featured some of his stuff recently, and I had him on a few months ago. I don't know if you can hear this, but they're blown by the house here again.
What's going on there, man? Crazy.
Something around. We're second house from the corner, and they're shooting down the side street here. So, but babies like to eat, sleep, and poop. Yes. But yeah, it's. I'm
excited for this show and this guest.
So real quick, I didn't pay attention to chat because we've been talking back in the back room there for 20 minutes here or so.
Yeah.
And a good friend of the show, Dan, has a new channel, DB3D_Dan. The link is now in the description. He is so close to 100 subs. Let's get him there tonight. I think he was at like 86 when I saw, or something like that. Let's get him to 100 tonight, guys. If you guys are watching, I know we're early in the stream, so hopefully we still have some people. And when people rewatch, check this out. It's going to be a great channel. He's going to do a lot of fun stuff. So
DB3D.
Yeah, he's been watching the show for a long time, and goes under a normal name, not a normal name, a different name normally, but this is actually his channel name now. So
hardly a normal name, Dan.
Yeah, not a normal name. We'll call that.
I'm looking it up now. I'm going to see get that subscription and see if I can get him over there.
There you go.
Yeah, it's in the description. You said I don't know how to work this thing.
Let's see. No, I just threw a link on the chat.
Okay. All right.
Here's what if you want, I can. I'll throw it in the private chat.
Oh, in the private chat. I don't think I'm a moderator yet. I haven't earned those rights. So I can't.
No, I threw it in the regular chat for everybody else, but for you special people,
that's gone, man. That's gone. That scrolled up just minutes ago.
It is. So as you can see, I'm in Lindsay's side of the office today. So we have an office. I've actually streamed here a couple times, but so like this side is mine and that side is hers. So when I actually sit here, all you see is we'll pretend it's hers. It's really all my stuff.
It's nice of her.
Yeah.
Why are you there?
This right here, I'm pretty sure I'm looking through my camera here.
Is that your prom picture?
No, that's Jewel Slate from Firefly and many other things right there with Lindsay.
Oh, that's not you. It's very hard to tell.
It's definitely not me.
It's incredibly tiny.
She does have hair like me, but
yeah. All right, Dan, subscribe. Subscriber 89 right here.
Tyler West says you don't need those mod rights.
Right. I don't.
Hey Dan, no problem, man. Hopefully you get over 100 tonight. Chris Travis says he's almost up to 10 subs. If you haven't hit Chris Travis,
10 subs.
10 subs. That's right. I had 10 subs last week and I was super full.
That's a lot of subs.
Italian.
Heroes.
Yeah. But yeah, let's you know what? I think we should bring our guest in right away. I'm super excited. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Garret from 3D Print Farm. How you doing?
Good.
Oh man, I know we've been on before, but I'm super excited to have you on this time because we're talking we could talk about whatever we want, but what I really wanted to talk to you about, we were talking about already, is a video you did recently. But before we get into that, who are you, where you're from, and what do you do?
So my name is Garret, and I'm from Northwest Arkansas. And I'm my full-time job is an IT programmer analyst. And of course, I actually do live on a farm, so I've got lots of animals and all kinds of critters out running around out back. But this whole 3D printing, and I've got FDM printers, resin printers, now getting into lasers now. So you name it.
So okay, so you're not a literal 3D print farm where you're like producing a ton of prints. You're literally on a farm with 3D printers.
Exactly.
Okay. Nice.
Glad we can clear that up.
Hey, honey, the cow's having a new calf. And by the way, can you take that print off?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
What kind of animals are we talking about? You got
gosh. No goats. I've got miniature donkeys, chickens, ducks, bees, rabbits. So yeah.
Bees. You're a beekeeper. You do beekeeping as well?
Yeah, do beekeeping as well.
That's good. It's good stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, with the bee population going down right now in the last few years, right? In the last lot of years, I seriously consider doing one in the backyard. I don't think the neighbors are up for that though. But just like, honeybees, right?
Do they get a choice? I mean, don't bees just, I don't know. Are there rules against having bees?
No. There's some folks that have in residential areas. They don't really bother anybody. They just stay in their hive. So
right.
Yeah.
They'll go out and forage about 2 miles out from the hive, and then they'll come back in the evening.
Hey, here's a question. If you were to 3D print like honeycomb, which is a popular infill, like to create like a rapid, here's the thing is that the actual honeycomb, you want to be able to slice the honeycomb. So I don't know that you're doing them any good by building the house for them, because they wouldn't just fill that up with honey, would they? Or would they?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, there's a lot of times that people will use different types of foundation in the frames. So I use a plastic foundation. So and what it is, it's a particular size that they like, and it's actually a piece of plastic that has like small little honeycombs in it, and they will start building their beeswax on top of that. Nice. Now, some of them will just put it just in a square frame, and they'll just start kind of building the comb, but when you put the plastic in there, it kind of helps them along. Some people like it, some people don't. So
possibly you could actually use 3D printing to speed along the process. You would probably need some kind of food grade compatible filament of some kind of process, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
And you put a little bit of beeswax on it too, because they need something to kind of form their base on. So they're a little bit more attracted to it if it has a coating of beeswax on it before.
Nice.
Put it in the hive. So yeah,
you're just making their lives easier.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Welcome to HotMakes, where we talk bees today.
Bees today.
You guys didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's a bunch of BS. No, no. Actually, we actually recently bought, or was it? Did we buy it, or did someone give it to us? It was supposed to be something they got from some store that bees would go in and that, would attract them and all that. And then my wife started looking into it, and she said, actually, it can really hurt them because of how it's made. It actually can hurt their wings and stuff. And it's something that they sell like at commercial stores, right? I have no idea if any of that's true. I just know that we didn't put it out because I didn't want to hurt the bees.
Chris Travis brings up something that reminded me that I read an article probably a year or two ago about there is actual wax filaments. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's beeswax specifically, or maybe it was beeswax, where somebody was actually printing a wax print. I mean, we've seen wax casting and stuff like that, but it would be interesting if you were actually able to 3D print with beeswax. I guess, what kind of heat would that require, Garret? And like, have you ever, can you melt it down? And
yeah, you can melt beeswax down.
Yeah. You make candles out of it and stuff too.
Yeah.
So you could theoretically do some beekeeping 3D printing crossover science for us.
You could. Yeah, you could.
Nice. I like it. Hot bee makes, somebody said. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Look, here you go. But no, that's awesome. I'm now I want bees. I don't know why, but I think the honey would be great.
I just
we
like going
don't.
to the store, get my honey, or
Well,
farmer's market.
my wife's grandpa, so my grandpa-in-law, however you want to say that, right, turned 90 on Saturday, I believe. We went over to him and visited him while he turned 90. And one thing he's always done is had a health food store, like a very organic, I don't want to say hippie-ish, but a health food store, right? And so every time we're there, he knows that I like pure 100%, real honey. So he gets these jars, and every time I'm there, he's like, here's a jar. You got to take a jar of honey with you. So I probably have 3 quart jars of like real honey, and it's so good. And eventually it just crystallizes, and it's so good. All right. Anyways,
Onward.
Oh, I like it. Someone says, do it for the mead. Yes.
Yes.
Gotta love the mead.
Gotta love the mead.
3D
You ever make mead, Garret?
I have made mead.
How did it turn out?
I still have a couple bottles of mead. It turns out really good. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make too. And you do use honey with mead, so yeah,
right.
It's good stuff.
It's a honey based, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. 3D printed candles from Beeswax. I like it.
There you go.
And here you go. This is a good way to keep your kids away from somewhere outside. But anyways, normally on your channel we see a whole lot of resin printing stuff. A matter of fact, many of us probably watching right now have followed you and through our resin printing journeys, including myself, and reached out and said, this is what I'm doing. What am I, how do I do this, or what am I doing wrong? But a video you did recently. Now the one I just saw was of the big what is it called now? That's
Saturn.
Coming. There you go, the Saturn.
Yeah,
that's coming. But the one before that, I think you actually play with a laser.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit? I got to see this, the things you made. We actually featured, someone tagged you, and we featured it here. And I think it was a tile and had the Hulk on it.
Yeah. This is it here.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that tile. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Can you talk?
You gotta tell us how you did it, man.
Yeah.
Sure. So what I did is I just took an inexpensive, so you see a lot of these lasers out there from either GearBest or, any of the, the overseas companies that sell these, I guess you call them desktop laser engravers. And, even some of the new 3D printers like the Snapmaker, they'll use a removable head. So you don't really need a really powerful laser to do this. So the one I used was like around a 4.5 watt laser, but you can go all the way down to 2.5 watt to 3.5 watt laser, and you can do things because it doesn't take that much power to do what I'm doing here.
Right. Okay. And then is there a process? Are you prepping the tile ahead of time? Like what?
Sure.
Talk to us about the whole process.
So what you do is you go down to Lowe's and you want to get a glazed tile. So I'll end up getting a glazed white tile from Lowe's. You can get them in a box of 100. They end up costing probably average around 12 to 13 cents a piece. So they're dirt cheap. So this is a 4x4. It's a 4x4 tile, and you can see the back is just a cheapy ceramic tile.
Right.
And so what you'll want to do is take something like a lacquer thinner or acetone. Don't use your IPA for your resin printers because it's hard to come by. So don't use IPA. So yeah, you want to use acetone, or I've used paint thinner because what happens is on these tiles there's kind of a film over the top of them, and so what you'll want to do is clean them up really good. You can use a paper towel, just kind of clean the tile up really good, let it dry, and usually acetone will dry. It dries in a couple seconds, so it's ready to go. Yeah. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to take like any of the Krylon spray paint. So like with the Hulk, I used I don't even see it here. It was a bottle of, or was a spray can of, I think it was called Jungle Green. So, you know how the Krylon makes these oddball fluorescent looking. So you try to find the brightest colors that, anything that you really like. And what you do is you'll coat that tile with a layer of the green. You'll let it dry. Usually let it dry for a couple hours. And then what you'll do is you'll go back and then hit it again with gloss black. So I went back and hit it again with Krylon Gloss Black. And again, let it dry for a couple hours, and then you're ready to go. Just remember to write on the back of the tile what you painted it, and I'll show you a couple examples of what happened a couple times. So, and you could play around with it. I mean, and I don't have one here to show you guys, but I kind of got this idea from some of the Facebook groups that I belong to. But these little scratch pads that kids use that. They're black and they can scratch them and like rainbow in it. You can actually laser those. You can actually laser those things, and that color will show up underneath it. And you can have there's some really cool effects you can do with that. It's inexpensive, of course.
So you're basically just creating those layers, and you're just doing a duotone. So you did like a green with a black on top, and then you're basically just revealing the green underneath.
Yes, exactly. And so what you'll want to do with that laser is just you'll want to put it on, because with a laser compared to, let's say, a 3D printer, I use a software called Lightburn, and
Lightburn.
It's not very expensive. It's like, I don't know, somewhere like $30-$40 or something like that for a license for Lightburn. Yeah. And so what you do is you'll take the image, if you want a free program like GIMP, which works kind of like Photoshop, or you can use Photoshop, CorelDRAW. And what you'll do is you'll pull that image in there, and you'll want to put it in like a halftone or put it in grayscale. And then a lot of times if you'll want to invert it, you can put it in there as well. But like with the Hulk, what I did is with Lightburn, you'll want to turn you want to turn your intensity or your power down. So like with this particular tile here, this was like around, I think I did this at about 8% power.
Oh, wow.
If you do it too much, it's going to burn the green and you'll start seeing the white underneath it. So you want the laser to be just strong enough to burn the black off so the green shows underneath.
And that just takes a little testing on your particular laser.
Yeah. And so actually one of the best ways to do this is get one of these tiles, and maybe lay down, I don't know, you could lay down some yellow, some red, some green, all different colors, and then hit it with black, and then just start in a corner and do maybe a 5 by 10 millimeter rectangle
square.
Yeah, exactly. And then and then you'll just have a notepad and keep track. Say, okay, this one was 8%, this was a 10% burn, this was 20%, and then you kind of dial it in. And then once you get it, then you just use it over and over. I took this one here. It was a photograph. I took off the internet. So this is just a
look at that. Yeah.
Right. So where I screwed up here is this was actually yellow on this side, and this was orange. So when I wrote on the back, I just put yellow and orange, but I didn't say what direction it was going. So it was actually I should have had it flipped like this. So
nice.
So yeah, and then you could do different things. Like, so this image was this is like an old coal miner back in the 20s. So, and this is the white revealed under the black. So I would burn this a little hotter. And with this type of thing, you'd want to invert your image. So it'd be a negative image. So you would show a positive when you burn it this way.
So did you have a little black frame? Did you program that in Lightburn? The black frame you had around that last one?
No, actually, you can size your image up, and and that's kind of a little bit of a trick, because on some of the desktop lasers, there's really nothing to lay down that you can straighten things up. So what'll happen is that laser will turn on like a low power, and you can click there's actually a frame button in Lightburn, and what it'll do is the laser will come on low power and it will draw a square around the object, so you can kind of position your object where you want it to be.
What's wild about Lightburn too is I don't know if you've played with it, but there's a camera option now too, where you can actually do the photo and it'll actually true.
Yes.
Really.
And I've actually got one of those. I haven't hooked it up yet, but I actually bought one of the. It's kind of commonly called the Chinese K40 laser, and it's a CO2 laser. So you can get these on usually on eBay for around $300-$400, and there's usually stuff you have to do with them. And I went ahead and bought there's a circuit board or a system board that you use. Is called Cohesion 3D. Right. And I ended up buying one of those, and I bought a camera that goes along with that. And I heard the camera is just amazing because, like Pooch was saying, you can line it up and put your object, whether it's a piece of wood or whatever, you can line your image up in there, and those cameras work awesome.
Yeah, it's an amazingly capable piece of software for it. So the G code version is $40, and like for the DSP for the larger lasers and stuff, that's what we use. It's like $80, but even for that, it's like worth every penny. There's all kinds of really slick stuff for like you can feed in spreadsheet with serialized data, so you can do like basically a mail merge style thing where it'll do different serial numbers and all sorts of interesting stuff. But your technique is really neat. Now, is this something that you pioneered, or did you see this? You said you saw this on a forum somewhere where you're.
Yeah, I saw it on a forum somewhere. I can't claim this as my own, but I saw it on a forum somewhere, and just kind of ran with it. And because a lot of these guys were using just the larger lasers for it, and one of the guys I talked to had used a desktop laser, and I thought, that's actually not a bad idea because, a lot of people it's because of a space, constraints, or just I don't know if you've worked with the larger lasers, they're pretty bulky and, trying to get in, you can't get it in a hobby room. So I was wanting to bring something like this to the masses because these lasers have gotten so cheap now. Yeah. But again, the things I'm a little leery of them because they're still pretty stinking dangerous, even though it's a diode laser. You always want to wear some protective glasses, and, I always get overly cautious when I deal with those.
Well, not just that, but it's really easy to just want to try to laser everything and not being aware of what kind of fumes you're releasing. And so having some good ventilation, some of those like positionable vents where there's a little suction and it can go out, like that'll go a long way. Cause man, some of the stuff, who knows what's in those paints and stuff. And over time, better safe than sorry. I don't think most of that stuff, and there's exhaustive lists online in terms of like what materials are safe for lasering and what aren't. However, there's always you kind of have to trust what you're getting. There's all kinds of different additives and stuff like that. And so I've always been, overly cautious. We try to use respirators when we can. We have really aggressive ventilation, but we're doing higher level, industrial stuff with CO2 lasers, like for diode based stuff, I'd still get
ventilation.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued because I've never actually gotten to play with a diode unit before too, and I like the idea of having a little modular setup. So are you using one of those SnapMaker ones or something different?
No, I don't have a SnapMaker. But the one that I had used is the Ortur ORTUR.
That's right.
And it's a Laser Master, and it's a small desktop. And the smaller one, the original, will do about a 6x6 size tile. Now they just came out with an Ortur Laser Master 2, and they're actually sending me one of those to test. But it'll actually do like a 12x12, so it'll actually do a foot.
Oh wow!
Size, And it's what I like about their brand is they've got some type of a gyro in it. So if someone comes along and happens to grab it or tip it, the laser will cut off. So there's a power shut off. So you're not, you don't want to be, trying to pop balloons with it or whatever, by picking it up and, aiming it at something. So
shooting it across the room or something.
Exactly. It's not going to allow you to do that, which is,
Oh man, I'm going to have to, just seeing some of those tiles. It's so cool. Do you clear coat over the top of them?
Yes, you do need to clear coat. Here's one I did a Yoda here. So yeah, you do need to put a clear coat over it because what you're doing again, you're just removing that black layer of paint, and so it's just paint. So if I took some lacquer thinner or acetone, I dumped it on that, it would just completely wipe off. Now this one, I'm glad you asked. This one will not wipe off. Check this out.
That's nice.
So this guy here, let me show you something here. So this is my knife here.
Okay, how?
Okay.
I just got goosebumps.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a little bit different method than the one I just showed you. This is what a lot of people refer to it as the Norton white tile method. And I don't know, this was pioneered by a guy by the name of Nicky Norton that was on one of the Facebook groups that has to do with these lasers. But this is an indelible tile. This will not come off with any amount of acetone, lacquer thinner. Wow. This is actually burned into the tile. Yeah. And I'll have a video coming up showing this technique on how to do this. But
you did that with a diode laser?
Yes, I did it with a diode laser. Wow. And what the main thing, here's one I did of the there's of the Dwayne Johnson there of the rock. So yeah,
I love that.
It's in there. So you can put images, whatever you want. So but the idea is you have to get that laser completely focused, and that's where a lot of people will they'll trip up, and they'll try to do this method, and unless that laser is completely pinpointed, because most of these diode lasers, they have a what's the word I'm looking for? They have a focal length. So because actually a laser is not just a straight beam, because the laser at the top is more like this, and then where the focal point is where it gets to that almost like an hourglass. So you have one that goes like this and one that goes like this. So that area right in the middle of the hourglass is the focal point. So what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to turn that dial or turn the lens of that laser to focus a point. And what I'll do is I'll try to focus it with my eye just by putting a piece of black construction paper down, and you'll turn the laser on low power, and you'll try to get that little dot as tiny as it can get on the black construction paper. You'll swap it out with some red construction paper, maybe a kind of a burgundy construction paper. You'll put it on real low power, like 4%. Go ahead and try to burn a rectangle again, like a small 5x10 rectangle. So you'll try that with that power again, and then you'll take your lens and you'll turn it clockwise by just a hair, maybe a quarter of a turn. You'll do another burn, and you'll compare the two. If one is darker than the other, then you know that you're going in the right direction. So your beam is getting more focused. Now, if you go too far and your object gets lighter, your little rectangle gets lighter, then you went too far. Then you kind of have to dial it back. So it's just kind of you're kind of going back and forth until you get it, at the exact pinpoint, as much as you can.
So now, I have a question about that real quick. Sure. So is it just due to how fine of an adjustment you're getting with rotating? Because technically you could, if you had to find enough Z-axis adjustment, you could achieve the same thing, right? You could like let the Z-axis basically control your focal point, right?
Right.
And set that consistently rather than fidgeting with it. But is it you just need that fine adjustment?
You need you need that fine adjustment, and I have adjusted the Z height, I guess you'd say, by trying to get a better burn. In fact, now that you mention it, on the K40, which is the CO2 laser, what some people will do is they'll take an object and they'll lay it at an angle like this, and then when the laser burns, you'll look at the line. You'll see the line where it's the dark,
where it's sharpest. Yeah.
Where it's sharpest, and that's your height. So there's you can kind of get an idea of how much to raise the bed to the Z height, because usually with those lasers, with the CO2 lasers like the K40, there's really no adjustment of the lens. It's just you're bouncing them with mirrors, and it has one focal length. So you really can't do a whole lot of focusing with unless you have some type of an apparatus on the end of it that you can actually move up and down.
Right.
So here's another question. Do you recommend that laser in general? So you've used it, you've had a lot of time to use it. Yeah. Is that something you'd recommend? Like for me, I'm thinking I'm literally opened your video while we're talking, and I went through your GearBest link, which I'm assuming is an affiliate link, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So go to Garret 3D Print Farm on YouTube. Find this video in the description. You have everything you used in the video, including some looks like upgrades or plugins. But I see the Ortur from GearBest. Would you recommend someone like myself, never used one before, but saw this and is like, I need to do that? Would you recommend that to me, or would you say do something different?
Now the one I'm using is the original, which is the Ortur laser. It's small, but for the same price, you could upgrade to the 2. And I don't know if I put a link to the 2 in there, but the Ortur Master, the Ortur Laser Master 2, it has a bigger footprint, and you can actually get more. You can burn larger.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
it's about
$70.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah,
it's about how much?
But the real cool thing about this guy here is
$270.
It's like a white. Like I said, it's a white tile method.
Yep.
So this is a white tile. You prep it just like you do. You prep it just like the colored tiles, but you'll wipe it with acetone, clean it, and then you just put a kind of a medium coat of white paint on it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the key is laser focus, and then I'll burn this at about 85% power. So that laser is pretty much pumping out the juice on this thing.
Got it.
And what it'll do is it'll look kind of odd after it's burned, but then you'll go back and you'll dump either lacquer thinner or acetone on this, take a paint scraper and scrape all the old paint off. So you get that nice kind of a shiny, you can still see in here the shiny tile, but all this black is actually burned in to the tile. And this doesn't require any post-processing. You don't have to coat it with anything. What's really cool about this is you can take some, pieces of cork or felt, and you made yourself a nice coaster. If you want to hang them on the wall, kind of like you've got their Jim on the wall back there. If you want to make like a display of some type.
So I was thinking, it would be awesome. In my normal area in the garage, I have all that wall space behind me. I wonder if I could make a mural of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
My original theory, and maybe you guys could tell me if this is crazy or not. I really want to do a plexiglass light wall. So there's like LED lights behind it, and then plexiglass, and then put it out there as a community print to send me certain size lithophanes, and then do anyone could, as long as they're not offensive, right? Send me your lithophane.
Offensive lithophane.
It has to be. Well, I don't want a bunch of male.
Yeah, we can leave that
behind me. But you know what I'm saying. But I really thought that'd be awesome because you could light it all up and have all the different lithophane back there. But now I'm looking at this like I could do my whole logo in a banner in coasters, like 1 by 1 piece, kind of like pixel art. You know?
Yeah, you could do that. You could probably do that in Lightburn as well too. I haven't even looked at all the settings and different things you can do, but I know it works similar to Photoshop where you can work in layers. So you can tell Lightburn, say, okay, I want you to engrave this, and then I want you to go back and cut it out. So if you have a powerful enough laser like a CO2 laser, it'll engrave it, and then it'll go back and cut it out, cut holes, and just do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Good. That's a good idea here. WF Writer says custom black backsplashes for your kitchen. That's
people would, and if you can do an indelible tile like that, I was to say you could actually have pretty good high end product there for custom kitchen work.
So looking at the link, you said check out the 2. There's a 20, a 15, and a 7 watt version of the 2. Would you just jump for the 20 right away? It's $279.
That's kind of a misnomer. Okay, so technically the one that I'm using is the 15 watt, but if you look at the actual power of the laser, it's actually about a 4.5 watt. Because people get a little nuts, they'll say, "Hey, it's it's a 20 watt laser." It's really not a 20 watt laser. I mean, because those diode lasers won't get that high of wattage. So most of the tiles that you can see here, you can do them with a 2.5 watt laser, a 3.5 watt, or a 4.5 watt. I would just get the cheapest, really you can. If you're just going to be engraving tiles, you can get the cheapest one and it'll work just fine.
Yeah. Looks like
it's funny because it's kind of like horsepower ratings on cars, right? It's
exactly.
Like the amount of horsepower you're actually getting to the wheels versus what's pretty, so it's like the power supply maybe kicking out 20 watts, but by the time it's actually converted to light, you're in the 4-watt range. So, and same thing, megapixel. People see like, oh, bigger number, better, right? So, but to Jim's question, though, theoretically, if you have more power, you have more potential to be more robust, but your results are going to be minimal. Is your expectation like going from a
yeah? So if you're burning these tiles, you instead of maybe at 8% burn, maybe you'll go down to 5 or 4, because like I said, you don't use but just a very little laser power to burn that top layer of paint off. Now something like this, whether that's indelible in there, where you're kicking it up at 85% power, may go down to 75. And I do a test tile on these as well. So you'll go through and I'll just put a bunch of little rectangles in there and burn those on there. But yeah.
And that's the beauty of light burn too, is like you can actually, so you had me, I'm sure somebody's probably tried this technique, but if you were to theoretically do a CMYK, layer of each, and then go in and you would need to dither it properly inside your Photoshop or whatever. But theoretically, you should be able to expose pixels in a manner that would give you a printed appearance. I would think if you were doing it fine enough. If
you had and almost like you said, the CMYK, if you layered your paint. So let's say you laid a green layer down, then a red layer and a yellow layer. Typically you could say, okay, that very bottom layer, I'm going to have to bump my power up to around 8%. When it kicks in to light burn, and then I'm going to hit it again at a different power. Let's say at I don't know, 3 or 4%, and it'll expose a different color. So you could actually. I've seen people do that with usually the higher end lasers, like the CO2 lasers, like let's say a 40-watt laser. You're only going to use 1 or 2% power just to get that kind of effect. But with the diodes, you can, there's a lot you can do to play around with. I think it's pretty much untapped as far as these colored tiles are concerned.
Interesting.
And like I said, awesome. I know if you're doing stuff for Christmas, for your family or Father's Day, I mean, it really makes a great gift because you can take a photograph and put, like a photo of your kids or your, some people do these as memorials for their pets. They'll put their pet on a tile or whatever in it, kind of as a little gravestone. Even I've seen. So, but you can actually, some people I've seen them, you can burn slate with them too. So just a regular slate.
This is so true. Every time we have the guest on, I spend money too. So, but I think the thing is though, I've never seen this until you put your video out, and I think a lot of us probably have never seen that, right? That means in my area, not a lot of people are probably doing this. There's a big potential to make some good money. You can do that with fame. You can do that with 3D prints, but the effect. If you show that Hulk one again, you show that to somebody, and it's just like, bam! I mean, the colors are perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, you want to do something. I was going to do a Daredevil. You could do the same thing with Daredevil too. The same kind of thing. But anyway, I grabbed this off the internet. It was just an image I grabbed off the internet and just kind of played around with it to get it the way I wanted it.
Right.
And once it's dialed in, you save it, and then just do it over and over again.
Yeah, dragon tail behind me.
Robots are great that way.
So we did have a question earlier. How long does a tile take like that?
That whole tile probably took about an hour. So it's not super quick. If you had like the 40-watt, these high, the higher end lasers, you might do it in minutes compared to. So it's not super fast. I mean, it's faster than 3D printing something like this, but it's about an hour.
You could do a picture of a benchy here, Dominic. That's awesome. So that's not bad. An hour. I mean, 3D printing world, we're used to an hour, like that. So
and that gets a lot faster as you step up power and go to higher end lasers. And
right.
Stuff. But that's pretty good for an inexpensive diode laser for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to go spend $175 Or someone else just threw out here. They have a Boss 1420. It's 65 watt fun hobby. Well, if I was going to go spend $175 on a cheap GearBest laser, right? Add in another $50 or whatever it is for all the protective stuff. I would definitely, I think you can make your money back pretty easily if you really wanted to. Otherwise, like me, I would probably just find ways to modify it.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, and I saw I saw something in the chat here. Someone was asking about the that some of these items are flooded on Etsy. There's a lot of these things on Etsy, but a lot of times you have to look at your local market too, because if you look at your especially like family and friends, are wanting to pick up stuff like this, even Facebook Marketplace. If you're in an area that you're going to try to find a niche item, and it's finding that right item, that's going to appeal to people. And like I said, with this kind of thing, you do experimentation and kind of play around with it. And it kind of fits in with the 3D printing because, it is, but it isn't. But it was cheap enough that someone could get into it if they wanted to start toying around with lasers. And those things are powerful enough to cut wood. I've done maybe 1-2 millimeter that real thin plywood stuff that you can pick up at Hobby Lobby, and it'll take several passes to cut it, but you can actually cut items with it as well. Doesn't do as good of a job, let's say, as a larger laser, but if you're just going to do engraving, you go to Hobby Lobby, get these little like keychains you can engrave on leather, like for a key fob. You want to stick the Mandalorian on a key fob, or you want to put an image of your kid on something like that. That's
the coolest thing is you could take custom orders and do this.
Oh yeah.
Any way you want. You could do so much, just like a lithophane or anything else. But
sure.
That's so cool, man. I'm awesome. I'm glad you could come on and talk to us about that. I know we have roughly 18 minutes or so, 17 minutes left. We want to get into some hot makes too. You guys want to do some hot makes?
Yeah, let's do it.
You guys stick around?
Yep.
All right. Let me do this. We gotta. We don't. I keep forgetting we don't have an intro for hot make. We'll do hot or not intro. I will get with Caleb after the stream. We got to get a hot makes intro. All right. So welcome to Hot Makes, everybody. This is where you tag hashtag Hot Makes out on the Twitters. I know I had some people tag on Twitter, and they gave me a Facebook link this week, so that was cool. But yeah, the first one here, a little Tom Jackson action. Spanner Hands Marble PLA Dragon Wine Glass. So that's a pretty cool glass.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, he's got the glass in there too.
Yeah, there's a glass inside of it. The first time I saw it, I didn't see that, and I was like, man, you couldn't even drink out of it. And then I looked again, and I was like, oh, there's the glass.
See, now that's a good way to do it because you don't have to worry about it being food safe. You just got something that like kind of wraps around, and maybe you epoxy the glass into it or something. But
it's kind of like
wash only. Then.
That reminds me of those mugs. I don't know if you guys have seen those mugs. I was part of that Kickstarter campaign about those. They look like beer steins, but they're kind of on the Dungeons and Dragons type kind of vein, and it's very similar. But like your can of soda fits down inside of it, so you don't really drink out of it. So those are pretty cool.
Now I need one. Thanks.
It's like a glorified koozie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So normally Steven the Lightspeed is posting the Clock Spring boxes that he's printing, but this is straight from Clock Spring today. It's a machine canister, print in place, support free, hinged box with a gear lid. I got to do this so you guys can get the full effect here.
Yeah.
Check this out. Got to put your mints in there,
Oh, you get your Mentos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I love that lock That's a cool latch mechanism.
It's super cool.
It's like Volt style.
And the print looked good. Oh, he missed one.
It triggers me every time I see that Avengers missed. I need it.
Triggered. Oh, we have a pooch rant already.
Yeah.
This next one comes from Carl Knack 3D. Let's see here. His latest print, a Leia's lightsaber from episode 9. I don't know what he printed it on. He didn't say which machine he printed on, but I know he's testing the CR30. So that's awesome. He has one in-house.
Lucky him. Yeah.
I know. So, but this is that looks awesome. I love the color combination. Awesome. I'm really curious what he printed it on now. But the color combination, he did an awesome job. I love it. The contrast is great.
Yeah, it really is. It's that elixir. Yeah. Huh, very nice.
Copper and silver from Polyalchemy. What do we got here? Same old Shane. This one is a little while ago, but a tropical bird house filament one. I love that.
And it didn't get condemned. That's good.
I think it's super cool looking.
Pretty lucky bird. It's almost got a like a SpongeBob SquarePants vibe to it.
It's like glamping for birds.
It's like got a little porthole window. Yeah.
It looks like he printed it in PETG.
White aluminium.
Yeah. Very cool.
Good job, Shane.
Oh, Mr. Buttram. Ryan over there. The splatter shot from Splatoon for his oldest son. Look at that.
That's great. You can make super soakers. You can make Nerf guns. You know, all this great stuff with 3D printing now.
So what's the deal with do you remember the old super soakers, the ones you had to pump up?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't find those anymore.
Is that true? Really? They still make super soakers, don't they?
Yeah, they make super soakers, but in the old days, it seemed like you could pump air into them, and but now it's like they've kind of like a slide mechanism or something. It's like they look like them, but I don't think they work the same.
Really?
Yeah, I remember those. I had a big one. I had 2 air canisters, and you could pump the heck out of it, and then it was a lot of fun. Someone's definitely going to take that clip of me and turn that into a meme. Yeah. Anyways, no, those are cool.
The Splatoon.
I'm gonna have to look for one just because you said that.
They banned them. He said, "Why would they ban Super Sucker? Like somebody did something. You know what? It's like they probably put
one of them blew up,
turned it into a flamethrower or something."
I love Splatoon. Nice. I think they're banned. That's garbage. All the cool,
all
stuff
the good stuff is banned. Yeah. Back in our day.
This was an electric controlled M&M launcher. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I didn't see this.
See if I can do it here. So I was going to do this for a hot or not actually this week, but I didn't know how much time we would have. So this is he loads the M&Ms in here.
Look at that little hopper.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't know if I can
pass the M&Ms, Alexa.
I'll turn off the there.
He's got to catch him in his mouth or something.
Volume of chocolate.
I just want to. Oh, here we go. Oh, it has like a.
There's like an AI component.
Does it follow him?
What? That's nuts.
That would be awesome. Oh, look at this.
Oh wow! It's like auto tracking. The thing it's like a turret, like an. And heaven help us when it becomes self-aware.
I need this. I need this in my life.
Now it's shooting M&Ms at Lego guys.
Yeah, here.
I need to watch at 7. Geez. Oh, this is a 240.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey Pooch, I think you're right. When Skynet gets a hold of this, it's gonna be bad news.
Friendlier. If it just shoots M&Ms at us, I think the world may be a better place. I don't know.
Man, I need one. All right, next we got a little Earthworm Jim. I had to. I used to love this game. From My Mini Factory. That is the obviously the render, the design, right, and the print.
Nice
print too. Inspire 3D.
Good.
Yeah,
looks like you got some overhang to contend with there on that head too, potentially.
Yeah. I wonder if this is printed in 2 pieces, because how would that? Well, maybe if
a lot of those busts, they do that 45, right? So you like follow the base of the bust, and then you have a separate hand.
So you probably got it up in here with the overhang.
Right. Right.
Nice.
So that's why it probably hooks it back because it's actually printing like that.
Yes.
Perfect.
Earth
Yeah.
So this next one was tagged, and it was obviously a Facebook link that was tagged. A 1/8 size DeLorean that they did.
Love me some
This thing
DeLorean.
came out so good.
Hmm.
Look at that.
The detail on that is just phenomenal.
And he's got
And he's got the LEDs in it. This has been around a little bit. He's probably been improving on it.
it started up. I don't know if you guys can hear the motor, but the motor started up with the button there. And now the car horn, the alarms came on. And, it's awesome. Well, very, very cool print. I think everyone needs a DeLorean.
Does it have does it have the Mr. Fusion from the second?
Good question.
I can't. It doesn't look like it does.
Nice. All right, this next one. This was a Hellboy bust. Check this out.
Wow, what kind of filament? What filament is that?
That is the Filament One Glint Red.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I love it came off a Railcore 300 ZL. It looks like. Man, the filament is amazing, especially out in the sun like that. But the print itself, you gotta love the Railcore prints, right? Man.
Yeah, that's great.
That's nice.
Very cool print. All right. I had to do this one. And we had like probably 10 Warcockies somehow.
Warcocky.
But it's the greatest extruder knob in the world. The angry Warcocky extruder knob. Everyone you look, yeah.
Was it Warcocky that was saying he hates extruder knobs? Is this why? Is this why he did it?
He's just doing this all day. He must get dizzy.
That looks like some of Wexler's work too. Have you seen any of his work before?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I think it was I can't remember. Maybe someone in the chat will remember. It was something else. I think someone turned it into an extruder knob.
Is it Walt? Is it Walter White from?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was just
from Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think it's Maker Coin remixed. Okay, yes, it is cool. All right, next, what we got here? Oh, Charles. He said the CR10S Pro decided to make its own HotMakes. Oh boy.
What happened to that SSR?
Look at that.
Yeah, this is why you heat sink your solid state relays, people.
Back in the USSR. Yeah, I had to get that in there for Charles. This is super awesome too. At first, you might see glass, maybe if it's carved and polished stone, but really it's right off the Elegoo Mars using Sarai-Tech smoky black fast resin.
I just got a quart of that stuff.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that. I like that color.
Right.
In fact,
look at how different it looks in that lighting.
Right.
Wow. You know what I'm going to do with that? I'm actually going to print the alien xenomorph on that Saturn, and I'm gonna use that smoky.
Nice.
I'm gonna use that smoky black. That would look pretty stinking cool.
I think, it's cool that we're seeing a lot of the SLA stuff come forward, and stuff like this can really be a game changer because not everyone can blow glass and play around all that fire and all that stuff. But if you can start doing stuff similar like this, that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Very similar to your coaster thing. I mean, another great idea. I'm thinking like if you can ever have those craft shows anymore,
look at that.
This would be great for tables. I got to do this. So this is another dragon, a bit bigger. He says, tried different color scheme. Let's see, diluted the inks in IPA and brushed them on.
Yeah,
check this out.
That's
incredible.
I mean.
Now, did you guys know that you were putting this out here because Jim? My next video, I'm going to show people actually how to do this.
What?
I kid you not.
No, I didn't know that.
Kid you not. I have got footage shot on how to do this exactly like this.
That is phenomenal.
That's good. Well, then consider this a little teaser for your video, then, huh?
Yeah.
Right. Is this you?
No, it's not me. But I saw this. And I had to learn how to do it because I've got some clear resin from Sarai-Tech that I'm gonna do this with. and show people how to make their own.
Don't turn it yellow.
So if you want to learn how to do this, check out Garrett's channel. We'll see how.
If you're not subscribed to 3D Print Farm, do it now because I can't wait for this. This is going to be, I mean, he shows us how to do so much in resin anyway, but that is, I don't know if I have the patience to do it, but someone would. All right, this is another cool one.
Oh, wow.
This person made, she said it took a long time, but made a infinity mirror earring. And let's see here.
Oh, whoa.
Check this out.
So you look into it. Oh, I love those.
And it's just that big.
I don't know if you remember, we featured a thing that Purple Orange did, I think like months and months back, where she did the goggles that had the infinity mirror effect, and it was super cool. Same thing, but that came out really neat. I like that.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if you want people just like staring at your earlobes like that all the day.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Here's some parts she used, and she actually walks through everything right on her Twitter. Said the links.
She did a little instructable on her Twitter feed. How
exactly. Cool. So if you go to the description of this stream, there's a link to our Google Doc that shares all the links that we had out there today, and you can find this in there.
Yeah, Zolan was asking. Yeah. Check out the doc, Zolan.
It should all be in there. Yeah. So this is a. Let's see. Jonathan Banks. There we go. On the Predator Delta. I don't know if I can click on it.
It looks like Mike.
There you go.
Yep.
It does.
Breaking Bad.
Mike,
Breaking Bad on your mind. It really does. Maybe is that the same actor? I don't
think it is.
It says hashtag Breaking Bad, sculpted by Sid and Neek.
Yeah, that's right. It does say Mike right there. Yeah.
But that's a great
detail on his beard. Is fantastic.
Right. One of my best FDM prints so far, he says, on the Predator Delta. Shout out to the Predator Delta. That looks
amazing.
Like a great print.
Look at that. What's the size? Like, did he say?
25 centimeters tall.
There. Yeah. Jeez. Nice work.
What size nozzle did they use on that?
I don't think he said. Doesn't say.
25 centimeters. Wait, 25. That's 10 inches.
Nice. It's awesome. That's a great print.
That's a great print.
Zolan here. I had to throw this out for a functional print of the week. A gate mount broke, and he actually designed and printed this fixed to the gate mount.
Very nice.
Nice work, Zolan.
Good practical print.
He's doing some really cool stuff, I think, with like tracking flights or airplanes or air traffic or something above his house. I keep seeing some really cool stuff out there on that. Here's a Spider-Man Noir by Photos Mint, right? I thought this was a cool. Let's see. There we go. That came out really good. That was on, let's see, the MK3S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice work on that one. Nothing but problems on the TiVo Little Monster. Oh, poor TiVo Little Monster is all broken.
He's just temporarily. He's putting a copperhead on it. Was that what?
See, there is a copperhead on here. Yeah. But it looks like it had some issues. So.
Yeah. Well, you know.
I love when people tag us with stuff like this because it's a little bit different than we usually show, and it's kind of fun to show. Now we need to be tagged with a fixed product, right?
It will be hot, soon to be hot.
Yeah, soon to be HotMakes.
Yeah.
This is really cool. This is a dual screen cyber deck, right?
Yeah.
There's a whole article on Imager here about it, and it's such a cool cyber deck. Maybe I don't understand yet what I would use this for, but I think I need one.
That's exactly what it says. I don't want it. I need it. I don't need it, but I want it.
I mean, the whole case folds up and locks into each other.
Yeah. Nice little conversation piece, right?
Yeah. And then someone says here, that's cool, but this is the original one with the single screen and it's really cool.
Huh.
I'm trying to remember. We had a couple people print those now. What else? Oh, scale photos for Etsy store. Thought I'd share. Look at that. this little tiny guys. I mean,
I like that one a lot. Look at that
Yeah.
paint job on that Mandalorian.
that's cool. I just couldn't paint that small.
War paints.
Yeah,
I like that.
very good job out there too. Nice. And last but not least, someone shot me the injection molded.
It is
There
the vertical
face shield.
Yep.
frame. Very nice.
So we'll call that a throwback.
Yeah.
I don't want to print any more of those. I'm hoping we never have to again, right?
Yes.
It was really cool to do it, but I printed a lot.
If we have no more pandemics in my lifetime, that'll be too soon.
Yeah. Amen.
Whatever
But that was some HotMakes. I hope you guys liked them. Check it out. Twitter, #HotMakes. That's how we found them all. I'm almost caught up from the couple weeks we were gone. There's like maybe 15 or 20 that I still have to go through. But other than that, we were caught up, which is awesome.
Keep 'em coming.
Yeah. So now I need to buy a laser. So there's that. And so last but not least, what do you think, Pooch? You got something for us?
Do we have time? What is it? 5:02. We're running late.
7:02. Oh yeah, 5:02. Your time.
Can I just like rant about heat creep for a second?
Sure.
Heat
Go
creep
for
is just driving me crazy. Like even when I think that I have the hot end all figured out, I got my full metal. It doesn't seem to matter. I've tried it with the Mosquito. I've had issues with the E3D V6 and everything in between, and it's like it's dialed, it's working great, everything's running, and then it's just there's so many variables that go into getting a successful print. And then you look at all the forums out there on how to avoid heat creep, and everybody's got suggestions from like oiling the thing to beefing up your fan to reducing the fan to trying different. It's just like you're going to drive yourself crazy, right? And when I think I'm using the exact same filament and the exact same things, it's like it's never the same. It's never the same. So I don't have any kind of solution for you people other than it's like, tell me what you do to deal with jams related to heat creep on different days. I need to hear how you keep yourself from going insane, because I have been losing it lately and I can't take it anymore. I just want to start smacking things. I don't know. That wasn't my best rant, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna let it get me down. I've been printing for so many years now, and it's just still something I can't master. It's like I think I have it figured out, and no, I don't know. Have you come across a lot of jams, Jim, as a result of heat? Because if you don't, first of all, if you don't know what heat creep is, then you're lucky and just wait, because you will. It's only a matter of time, right?
Well, let me tell you about heat creep.
Talk to me.
From 65 to 89 degrees here in Wisconsin. That is heat creep at its finest. No, heat creep sucks, and I mean, I'm hoping I got a copperhead, so maybe that'll help. But I think
it's all relative, right? It's like some day, I mean, like Zolan brings up, it's like part of the variables is like temperature control, and so on hotter days, it's just going to be hotter, and you're going to be more subject to it. And so it's like unless you have a completely controlled environment that you can actually keep all those variables dialed in, you will always fall victim at some point.
And some people oil their filaments, another way to help it.
I mean, that's something I would love to dive deeper on at some point, because I've read a lot and seen videos like Stefan CNC Kitchen has that bit about how not to oil, because like that'll actually like degrade the integrity of the print, the adhesion. And so, maybe you're getting the print done, but is it at the sake of the print? And maybe it doesn't matter if it's just something that's ornamental, but if you're trying to do a practical print and now you have worse quality, whatever.
Here you go. We need to help Pooch out. Start adding subjects to piss Pooch off and get a rant. #rant subject. No. Nice. Hey, real quick, I got a shout out before we go. Where is he at? Meeple's Champ. He's on here asking a couple questions. And yesterday he got his first printer, an Ender 5. He did a stream on Twitch, and I think he maybe even put it on his YouTube channel he just started recently. But he got a brand new Ender 5, so brand new 3D printer, fellow community member in the house. So congratulations on that. He's out in Ireland. If you know anyone out in that area, I know we have some people out there watching. So he's out in Ireland, and I know you're gonna love it. I think he's already hooked. He had a couple of test prints, and I think his wife thinks she gets a puppy because he got a printer, but I don't know if that's true or not. That's usually how they barter. She gets an animal of some sort, and he gets something cool. No, we're gonna have to buy him a farm like you.
Yeah,
I love it. But other than that, I don't want to keep us too long. I know everyone has a dinner and family time and kids running around, and I got to go take over the baby because unless he fell asleep, I'm sure Lindsay's ready to hang. I don't know if you saw he was hanging right here, and she was feeding him, and he started getting crabby again. And
She was just waiting to just place.
Yeah, well,
she could just run.
I thought she was gonna, but I think she didn't. He was crying. I don't think she wanted him to hang out in the room if when we're on the stream. But yeah, it's I really appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much, Garrett. I mean, I love talking to you about especially the printing. But today I learned a ton about lasers, and I may just have to hit the purchase button. What I want to do is I want to know what the best laser for that same money would be. Right. So is it that particular auteur? I can't even say that word, auteur. Or is there a better one for $275 right around there? If you're in the comments or you're watching this, let me know. Shoot me a chat. Hit me on Twitter. What do you think the best laser printer, the laser engraver or laser etcher is for that money? I mean, I need one.
Do you?
Yeah, and now I'm looking forward to his next video or one of his videos.
Yeah, no, Garrett was really informative, man, and I love hearing all about your ideas. That laser stuff was cool. Like talking about beekeeping. We didn't really get into resin that much, but I know that's kind of one of your claim to fame, is the resin stuff. So we look forward to seeing your videos.
Yeah.
So tease us really quick. You're going to do the video on that technique for the resin painting. And then you said you had something else that was that you were working on releasing. Was it just on the laser technique?
Yes, that was on the laser technique to actually etch the. In fact, I kind of left it.
The indelible style, right?
Yeah, I left the teaser on on my last laser video, and that's to kind of do stuff like.
That's so cool.
Right up there.
And so we'll be seeing that next, maybe, and then maybe the resin one after.
Actually, the resin one's coming up, and then this one's after.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right.
So we're all gonna meet you at your house, so you can show us the farm, and then you can show us your sweet.
Give me a couple quarts of honey for you guys. So
yes,
awesome.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Pooch. It was great to hang out again on Monday.
Always good hanging out with you guys. Always good.
Nice. And everybody out there, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys coming out. I know it's early on a Monday afternoon. We try to get both coasts in here, and I know a whole lot of people are out there. A lot of great people in the chat. Awesome conversation about everything from, like you said, bees to lasers to printers, and the chat was engaged. I love it. But you guys have a great one. We will see you next week. You guys hang out. I'll be right back with you guys. But everyone else, later, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.